Hola, ¿qué tal? Me llamo Rosita, su maestra de español. Hey guys, my name is Rosita, your go-to vocal and here on TakeLessons.com. Today we are going to learn a little bit more on Spanish. If you guys have been following me, first off, thank you guys so much. If you guys have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Leave questions on YouTube below. I do give tips on also in Japanese, and also I'm also a vocal coach. So if there are any questions on there, please check out my other videos. And if there's something that you want to know, I'll be more than happy to do a video on that as well. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, well, are you there or be there in Spanish? So let me pull up the slide for you guys. Okay. So here's our game plan, guys. First, we're going to actually have a conversation and una conversación. Then vamos a aprender unas palabras. We're going to learn some vocabulary here. Got some usage of these new words and phrases that we might learn. Oh. And our focus for today. So here, let's start out with some conversations. So I am going to read out the conversation first. Then I'm going to have you guys repeat one. ¿Estará en la reunión esta noche? Will you be at the gathering tonight? Person 2. Sí, estoy ahí. Yes, I am there. Person 1. Ahí está o estará ahí? Or will you be there? Person 2. Estaré allí. Perdón, debe ser will be there. Excuse me. It ought to be fun. Person 1. Yo creo que sí. I think so. Person 2. We'll talk later. Person 1. Hablamos. Talk to you later. All right. Time to repeat. Estará en la reunión esta noche? Person 2. Sí, estoy ahí. Person 1. Ahí está o estará ahí. Person 2. Estaré ahí. Perdón. Debe ser divertida. Person 1. Yo creo que sí. Person 2. Hablamos más tarde. Person 1. All right, let's check out some vocabulary here. Actually, let me hide that. There we go, much better. So, meaning gathering, meeting, reunion. Looks a lot like the English word reunion, huh? Unión, reunión. Next, deber, which means ought, should. Deber. Next, divertido, meaning fun. Divertido. Or, depending on the gender of what you're talking about, can also be divertida. Creer, to believe. Creer. Hablamos. Talk to you later. Hablamos. Hablamos. Next, más tarde. Later on. Más tarde. Más tarde. Okay, vocab and phrase usage. So, reunión, it can be translated as meaning gathering or reunion. Now, the most common translation, a meeting, like a business meeting or a meeting with friends. Next sort of usage will be for deber, meaning ought, in the sense that your speaker supposes something to be probable. In order to make this mean should, in the sense of obligation, the verb deber is used, but in the condition tense. Next, divertido or divertida, meaning fun. The adjective is singular and divertida is the feminine singular. It means fun, but it also has to do something with recreation. And last but not least, when using a phrase with an exclamation, like it was used in the conversation, it's used as a kind of a set phrase, meaning, okay, I'll talk to you later. But if we wanted to literally translate hablamos, it would mean we talk or we are talking. But it's used to refer to the future. It's like saying, let's talk or talk to you, when what we mean is I'll be talking to you or I'll be in touch. This is a common way for saying a temporary goodbye. All right, here comes the juicy stuff. Remember those AR, ER, and IR verbs? Well, we are actually going to compare the future tense to the present tense in order to see exactly how the two tenses differ in word formation and in meaning. So what on earth am I talking about? If this is your first video if this is the first video that you're watching, let me explain very, very quickly. I'm just going to jump in here to the first graph. So in Spanish, we have three different kinds of verbs. We have ER and IR ending verbs. Now, to conjugate them, meaning to change them depending on the verb, is going to be depending on the person. Such as yo, meaning I in Spanish, for AR and IR verbs, we're going to replace the ending with o. So as you see here, amar will be yo amo, I love. Correr, meaning to run, yo corro. And partir, which means to separate, yo parto. Notice how I'm dropping the endings of the verb and adding its new present tense form. Now, depending on the person that we're talking to, as you can see, it changes. So, tú, which is the informal you, will be tú amas, tú corres, tú partes. Él, meaning he, ella, meaning she, and usted, which is a formal you, we're going to drop the AR and add the A. So él, ella, and usted are going to have the same end. So here we'll have él, ella, usted ama. You love. Él, ella, usted corre. He, she, you run. Él, ella, usted parte. He, she, you part. Then we get into our plural singular here. A plural singular. Our first plural, nosotros. So here we're gonna have. Oh, I meant to build this. Just kidding, guys. All right. So we're going to drop AR and add amos for AR, hemos for ER, and imos for IA verb. So nosotros amamos, vemos, nosotros partimos. Then we have vosotros. Typically, vosotros Spain. You guys will rarely see it in Central America. So here, vosotros is like you all, like you guys. So vosotros amáis. Vosotros corréis. Vosotros partís. Then we have ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Now, ustedes is you all as well, but be more common in Central America. So it'll be ellos, ellas, ustedes aman. Ellos, ellas, ustedes corren. And ellos, ellas, ustedes. Get the gist? If not, please, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Put your questions in the comment section if you guys are watching this on YouTube. Okay, so to our lesson focus. We have seen that verbs and an AR, ER, and IR are the three classes of regular verbs, and accordingly, they're called the first, second, and conjugations. Also, we've seen that in the present tense, these three classes differ from one another in the way that their personal endings are formed. We saw in the graph. Now, in order to conjugate any regular AR, ER, or IR verb in the future, you simply add the future ending to the complete infinitive. And I will demonstrate what on earth I'm talking about. Don't worry. So, remember in the conversation, person one asked, ¿Está allí o estará allí? In the first clause, we recognize the verb está as a second person singular. So, él, ella, usted, for an example. That is, you are. But in the second clause, we see that the verb has been changed in future, but has preserved its person and its number. It is still in the second person singular, the future ending that is as, with an accent on the A, estarás, you will be. Now, just in case, now let's suppose that we want to talk about a party that will be going on tomorrow. How would the sentence change? Remember in the conversation, la reunión será divertida. See that verb será? Será is in the future tense, and that is been formed by appending the third person singular future to the infinitive verb ser. So therefore, it's going to turn into será, meaning will be. In other words, the party is posterior to the speech. Now, again, the verb maintains its number and gender. It's still singular and in third person. We are still talking about the gathering, but the tense is now in the future. The party will be fun. This is a good way to familiarize yourself with verbs in Spanish. All you have to do is create a simple sample sentence and try going from one tense to another. But we're going to work on that in just a second. So let's just check out that chart for the future tense. So here's the present tense right here, as we discussed earlier. So the endings for AR will be o, as, a, amos, ais, y an. But if we're going to tense, we're going to add haré, harás, hará, haremos, and harán. All right. So these endings apply the regular AR verbs. Now, let's check out the ER verbs, such as correr. As we see in present tense, we have yo corro, tú corres, él, ella, usted corre, nosotros corremos, vosotros corréis, and ellos, ellas, ustedes corren. If we're going to talk about future tense here, it'll be correré, tú correrás, él, ella, usted correrá, nosotros correremos, vosotros correréis, and ellos, ellas, ustedes correrán. So these endings here, as I'll bold them so you guys can see it a little bit better. Oops. These endings that I am bolding goes for all regular verbs. And then if you check out the IR verbs, same concept. So if we check out the present tense, what would be the present tense for partir? Remember, the yo form is going to be all the same for the three AR, ER, and IR regular verbs. If you guys said yo parto, then you guys are correct. So, but here we'll have for the future tense, partiré, partirás, él, ella, usted partirá. Nosotros partiremos. Vosotros partiréis. Oh, and the I too. And ellos, ellas, ustedes partirán. Now you guys can use this graph or this chart to distinguish between the present and tense. Now, one thing that I did fail to mention when it comes to the present tense, if you're in Spanish, ER and IR ending regular verbs are pretty much going to be the same thing with the exception of the nosotros and the vosotros form. And that's where it's actually really going to follow their so if you check out nosotros corremos for the ER verb, corremos. And for the IR verb, for like, por ejemplo, de partir, partimos. You guys see what I'm talking about? Partimos. Here we have es. And for the IR verbs, we have imos and then is. All right, guys, hopefully this video helped you a lot and advance on your journey on speaking Spanish. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to ask. Leave your questions below in the comment section if you guys are watching this on YouTube. If you guys are watching this on Take Lessons, please do not hesitate to contact me there either. All right, hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to you soon. Nos vemos.